Hey guys, Tom here from Legacy Collectibles, and I'm calling this video must-have Axis pistols because these pistols you must have. Now this is only about a tenth of what we got in from this one collection, and this collection was brokered to us by the wonderful people, actually Dwayne and the guys from Urban Defense LLC, and also the Urban Defense Podcast. You might want to check them out if you haven't already. They are in Maryland, and not only do they have class, but they actually teach classes on self-defense and other weapon-related topics. So you might want to check them out, and there is a link to how to reach them in the description below. So this assortment was some of the ones that I cherry-picked out of the collection just because they're really nice Axis pistols, really nice samples. But I also got with these, the next video I'm going to do is some beautiful babies. These are some of the beautiful babies that I'm going to go over with you on the next one. But back to these are more standard Axis pistols. Except for the first one, well, a Luger is an Axis pistol. But this was issued to the Portuguese, actually Portuguese Army. Manuel II ordered these from the German government, and this is a model 1906 because of the barrel length and the grip safety. Also, this comes in 30 caliber rather than the standard 9mm. Now, this little triangle in a circle is actually the proof mark. I guess the Portuguese inspectors, they use that as their inspection stamp. And you can see the same symbol right back here. Again, it's a triangle in a circle. And then you also can find it on the magazine. So we know that this giddy-up, this setup, is all original. And also, one of the reasons I wanted to show it to you, you know how much I love German Lugers. I wanted to show you this just because of the condition. This is absolutely beautiful for a pistol issued to the Portuguese Army. These are usually pretty beat up. And again, it's a model 1906. They only made about 5,000 of these for the Portuguese. And so if you don't have this variation and you're interested, you might want to check this one out. Again, it has the crown over M2, and it was made by DWM and sent to or distributed to the Portuguese military. Speaking of militaries, here's an Italian Beretta during the Mussolini days. RE, so Crown RE is, we've talked about this before, this is the Italian Army, issued to the Italian Army. Oftentimes the holster is green, this one is brown, but it is a correct Italian holster. This spare magazine, the bottom is plastic, so that tells me this is a post-war magazine, but the one in the gun is a correct wartime magazine. Metal bottom, and it's got a bottom release button, and that is the correct magazine. Now this, for the Italian Army, this was made in 9mm. That was their preference. The Germans preferred 7.65 or 32 caliber. There's no legend here, which tells me it was late in production before the Germans took over production. Toward the end there, they skipped that step, and the RE marking is the proof mark, and then also it's in the F prefix block. So this is a known variation. Italian Army has a little patina, browning of the blue, as I like to say, browning of the blue. But a nice looking example. And then after the Italians rebelled and killed Mussolini, then the German army came in, took over Italy, fighting the Allied troops. 1944, this was actually made at the same factory, but under the watchful eye of the German army and German inspectors. This proof is a 4UT, which is the German proof mark. So basically this was made for the German army, this one was made for the Italian army, and both of these should be available. Those are just examples I wanted to show you. And now I want to show you something, drum roll. I'm excited to show you this because actually Chris was here by himself and he sent me a quick picture. I was home and he said, have you ever seen this variation before? And I think he said something like, what the heck is it? Because he had never seen these markings on a PPK before. All that is to say, this is a brand new variation, brand new to me, and I'm sure I have it figured out. So it's an early gun, 90-degree safety. You can tell from the serial number, it's after the RZMs, but I'd say about 1936. 1936, so it was before they started making guns that we know went to the police. The police guns are marked Eagle C or Eagle F. Most of them are after 1940, so actually starting about 1939, 1940. And I've always wondered, did they make police guns before 1939, 1940? Here's a picture of the Eagle C. That's what I'm used to in a police gun. But yet, I believe this was a police gun. There's no Eagle F, there's no Eagle C, and that's because it's very early. But here's what tells me it went to the police. First, now this is post-factory mark. It's had to be ordered by the police, went to a police arsenal. They put number 50 on it, dot, nothing after it. But you're going to get so excited. Just hang on to your seat. Look at this. It's amazing. 50.1, 50.2. So probably like a rack number. This is ordered by either the police or like a factory guard, and this is pistol number 50 that they ordered, and this is magazine 1 and 2. Now notice the police mags almost always have a flat bottom, except when you go to PDM, and again, aren't they early? Sure, they're from like 1935. So a PDM, PP, or PPK, they have 2 finger extension bottoms on that variation. This variation I've never seen before. Chris found it when he was going through these guns. Again, came over from Dwayne and the guys from Urban Defense. This came over and he asked me about it, and so I studied a little bit. I said, it has to be a police gun. It could be a factory guard, but same thing basically. Gun number 50, magazine number 1 and 2. A very rare find. And this also came in with the same lot of guns. And I'm pointing this out. Now, this is a 1914 Mauser. And here we see the same thing, LK, which is actually, I think it's land police, and I'm not sure what area. And this has a 5 point nothing after it. Now, go to the magazine, but it is 5.2. The gun, police mark with a 5 and a dot. So very similar. Here's a police gun, gun number 5. And this is magazine number 2. So they came in, again, this is just amazing to me because this PPK came in, I was trying to interpret it. This came in with the same lot. It has a similar numbering situation. We know this is a police gun, probably gun number 5, magazine number 2, and we find the same thing with this PPK. So I hope you learned something. I did, because I didn't know this variation existed. I've never seen another one. Obviously, if you're watching this video and you know of another gun marked in the same way, again, it's an early 90-degree safety. We know it was about 1936 before they started marking the police guns within Eagle C. So I think it's really cool. Hopefully you learned something. I would love to keep that gun, but I have a feeling somebody's going to money whip me. Okay, next I'm going to show you another foreign variation. Remember, this is a German Luger and it went to the Portuguese. This is a German PP, but it actually went to Persia, modern day Iran. This is the Persian crest and Farsi writing, and this I believe means a 9mm. This is the serial number of the gun. And I already mentioned 9mm, and you can see bottom release magazine. So the Persian government, I've heard that some of these went to the palace guards or police or the Secret Service. I don't think they just went to the rank and file military. I think it was for those who were close to the Shah and guarding him. Nonetheless, it's a small contract. I think it was only about 1,200 pistols that went to Persia. Now notice the Walther logo is not here. Normally, Walther logo is right there, but instead they reversed it. And right here, you see the Walther banner, so it's on the opposite side. And here's the Walther logo. Here's the serial number as we would know it. That's the serial number of the gun. And it falls in a specific range, by the way. And so this is Persian, and then this is in German. I've owned several of these guns, so they're not extremely rare, but they're getting harder and harder to find. So I'm sure some collector out there is really going to want to pick this one up. Let's take a look at the next Walther. This one is a variation we've seen before, just beautiful quality, high polish finish. Again, I wanted to mention the high polish finish. Of course, later in the war, the finish became a lot more dull. But this is an RJ, or Reichsjustice, so this went to the court systems. Even the judges wore a gun underneath their robes, but the courtyard guards and the people that served warrants, things like that. So this went to the Justice Department in the German government. This is serial number makes it a little bit earlier. I think this is about 1936, 7.65. And here's the magazine. It has the early grips, and I can tell the early weighted grips, there's a little crack there. And that's, again, that's where the metal, there's a metal piece inside here to keep it firm. And that causes cracking there. And not too bad, sometimes cracking over here as well. Actually, I don't see the cracking here. So I know these are early weighted grips. Just a beautiful gun. Look at the beautiful high polish finish. Might be something that one of you'd be interested in. And notice the fire blue safety, which you also find right here on the ejector. Now, this one is the one that everybody's going to want. You're going to have to get in line. I want this one too, but they tell me I have to offer it for sale. It has a box magazine, which is pretty unusual. I don't know if that originally came with the gun, but it very well could have. It does not extend the number of rounds. It's a standard magazine, 7-round PP magazine, but it does give you a little more room for your pinky. If you have a fat hand, that's not going to help at all. For me, it fits just right. And the most important part is this symbol, which is the NSKK, Nazi Eagle. So the NSKK was the transportation department. It started out as a club, kind of like the SA clubs before the war started. NSKK, they did things like motorcycle racings and car races. And so when the war started, they needed to have a function, so they became the Transportation Corps. They actually drove the limos and did the motorcades for the Nazi officials, but also you see them in this classic motorcycle with the sidecar they use for delivering messages and moving people around on a moment's notice. They would take care of things like that. And they also did benign things like directed traffic. It comes in the correct serial range, beautiful original condition. A little bit of wear here, but prices on these have gone through the roof. Very hard to find. If you find one, they're going to be very expensive. We found one, or at least we got one in with this collection, and I will have at least a dozen people who are going to write to me and say, I'd love to own that. Now, I just have 2 left, and it's a compare and contrast. This is an early high polish. During the Nazi era, so this is about late 1940. This is Waffen 77 proof mark. You see a little bit of speckling there, but this is a nice high polish finish. It's called a 3-lever variation. It's slotted, so that's early enough to be slotted, and the letter block is B. So to find one in this condition, again, this is not mint because a little bit of speckling here. But finding one in this condition is getting more and more difficult. I don't see a Waffen proof on the magazine, but I'm sure the magazine is wartime magazine. And compare that to this one, comes in the holster. This is the standard Radom holster, or what it should look like. BNZ is the maker, and then it says P35 because this is called a Radom, a P35, a VIS, and probably several other things, but it's a Polish-made Radom. And take this one out, and you can see the difference in the finish. It's a lot more dull. I talked about that when I talked about the high polish finish on the PP. I said later it became a dull finish, and all of the production, all the guns went from this early high polish finish to this dull, it's what I call a military blue. This is a later one, but it still has the 3 levers. See, 1, 2, 3 lever. Here you also see the 3 lever. Later they did away with a lever, but they also did away with the stock because they never issued the stock anyway, so they stopped cutting the stock lug. This I mentioned was in the B block. This one is in the P block. So this is more about 1943, and this is probably late 40, early 41. So there's two really nice wartime Nazi era Radoms or VIS or P35. All of these will be offered to the VIP members first, but then will be available on our website, so you might want to check them out.